Shalom. Title of this video is More Things Hidden in Movies or More Truth Hidden in Movies. All right, so I want to say fair use under the Google Copyright Infringement Act. I'm going to show a quick clip from the movie called This Is the End with Seth Rogen. It's supposed to be a comedy, but I just want to show you a quick clip from the beginning of the movie where this is one of the things where I told you that they kind of slip some truth into a movie, and you think that it's funny, you laughing, you're eating popcorn, maybe you had a couple drinks before you watched it, and you miss what this is saying, but it's telling you some valuable information, and you're missing it. And they do this a lot in movies. I made some about 3 or 4 videos regarding soy and what soy is. So you have to go back into my list if you care to know what soy is and what I stated about it. But this is just more information. And again, I just want to preface by saying that this is regarding wheat and gluten. Gluten is just a protein found in wheat. And they've hybridized this crop in a way in which it now acts as like a binder. So you're eating something and you're unsuspectingly eating something that like kind of remains in your system. So you don't even know you're eating this, and it's causing you a lot of problems: weight gain, obesity, diabetes. A lot of medical issues are related to gluten, and you don't know this, right? A lot of people don't know this. Some people know this, and I'm pretty sure some people stay away from it, but some people unsuspectingly eat this in just your everyday life. Just eat some bread, you eat a sandwich, and you're ingesting this gluten. So I made a video a few days ago regarding gluten, and like there is certain wheat that you can eat. It's called Icorn, and I made a video showing the difference between it, right? And it's you might want to check it out if you care about this. All right, so I'll go ahead and play this video so you can see exactly what I mean. So this is fair use under the Google Copyright Infringement Act. This is from the movie This Is the End.
All right, I've landed. I'm here. We said our hellos. Can we please go to fucking Carl's Jr.?
I would love to. I'm on. I can't really eat that stuff right now. I'm on I'm on this cleanse.
You're on a what?
I'm on a cleanse.
What?
It's good for you. I didn't know. You're supposed to take 6 shits a day.
That's not true.
It
You're
is
supposed
true.
to shit twice a day.
No, that's not true. That's what they used to think. Now they know you're supposed to shit 6 times a day.
So you're not drinking. You're not smoking weed. You're not.
No. I'm drinking and smoking weed.
But
I'm on a cleanse. I'm not psychotic. Look, man, if you stopped eating gluten, you'd feel way fucking better all day. Whenever you feel shitty, that's because of gluten.
that's not true. Who the
It
fuck
is.
told you not to eat gluten?
It's just true.
You don't even know what gluten
I know what
is.
fucking gluten is.
No, you have no idea
I
what
do
gluten
know what gluten is. Gluten's a vague term. It's something that's used to categorize things that are bad. You know, calories, that's a gluten. Fat, that's a gluten.
Somebody just told you probably shouldn't eat gluten. You're like, oh, I guess I shouldn't eat gluten.
Gluten means bad shit, man, and I'm not eating it. Oh, God. This bite is better than the previous bite. Gluten!
Okay, so I'm sorry about the language in that video, but I'm just using this to make a point. So you see here where he said that he's on a gluten cleanse, and his friend is like, you don't even know what gluten is, and this is probably the truth. You might hear somebody say they don't eat gluten, or you see some product at the store that says is gluten free, but you don't even know what it is. And I actually stopped eating gluten maybe back in like 2018. I was on kind of like a health kick, and I was listening to or I was following Dr. Sebi's. I don't know if you ever heard of Dr. Sebi, but yeah, like a nutritional guide. I don't have it anymore. Somehow, I don't know if it's available online anymore, but somehow it disappeared from my phone, a PDF. And he recommended eating spelt flour. Spelt is a form of wheat, but it's like a weaker form of gluten, and it's easier to digest. And I noticed that too, and I used to make pizza with it instead of like traditional wheat, all-purpose wheat, bread flour, etc. And I noticed that it was more digestible. I never had any problems with it. The only problem with it was that it didn't have a good texture for like pizza. Like it was like kind of tasted kind of cardboardy. and it didn't really have a good texture. So but I still didn't really know why I wasn't eating regular wheat. So I kind of start gravitating back to it, and I would just do things like experiment with like pastry flour, which is kind of like a lighter form of wheat, and like all-purpose flour, not all-purpose flour, but like whole wheat flour or like whole wheat white flour. They have a lot of different types of wheat available. And I was just trying to get a good consistency because I like to eat pizza. I like to make my own homemade pizzas. But I didn't really know what the problem was. And then, and about 3 months ago, I gave up gluten completely. It's like on December 7th, it'll be 3 months. And I'm still trying to remove this stuff from my system. It's like every day you start to see that you have all these big pieces of stool that come out. Sometimes it's like a big piece, sometimes it's smaller pieces, but they just kind of like when you flush the toilet, they don't dissolve. They just go down the toilet hole, and that's how you know what gluten is, right? Because usually when you consume some food, it it processes in your stomach, and then your stomach chemical breaks it down, even meat, and then it goes through further processing in your small intestines, and then it goes through further processing in your colon, and then it comes out of your rectum. So when it comes through, it should be soft by that point. It shouldn't be hard, and you just feel it coming out. It's like real hard, like rubber. And they, like I said, they have, you can look it up. They have industrial, they use different things in industrial use for it. They make like bubble gum out of it. So imagine if you swallow bubble gum. Well, that's what you're swallowing when you eat gluten. Gum, glue, and that's where the term comes from. Gluten, like glue. It's like a Latin term meaning glue, and it kind of glues itself to your intestines and it doesn't digest. So you might want to check out my previous video. It showed this lady and her husband. They were doing an example of what happens when you try to dissolve it in water. It doesn't even dissolve in water; it just stays there. And this is exactly how it sits in your system. And I've been experiencing this. I've been going through a lot of agony for months, and I couldn't figure out what the problem was. And I'm kind of, I'm a very health conscious person, but I was really unaware of this. Even though I started eating spelt flour, I didn't know why I wasn't supposed to eat regular wheat, right? It wasn't really explained. And now I kind of understand why I had to go through a lot of agony and then go through a cleansing to understand why you shouldn't eat this stuff. And you see where they're making a joke about it. He said, you don't even know what gluten is. And it's true. He said it was like fat. Fat is not gluten, and calories is not gluten either. So it's just a protein in certain types of wheat. And like I said, if you want to check out my previous video, I showed you like the price point and the type of wheat that you probably should. I can't tell you that you should eat any wheat, but if you're going to eat it, you want to eat probably the most expensive kind that they sell. And that's kind of like how everything else is in this world too. And that includes meat and cheese as well. Don't buy the cheapest thing because you're going to get exactly what you pay for. It's pretty obvious, right? So this is just another video. I don't want to make it too long. This is just, again, this is a follow-up to my last video, which is longer. You might want to check that out if you want more information about this. But this is the reason why a lot of people hold a lot of weight. I used to be about 140 pounds overweight, and now I'm not. And I've probably been holding about 20 pounds of weight. I mean, I don't really see it when I look in the mirror, and I don't feel like with my clothes and my waistline has gotten bigger, but I'm just seeing all of this stuff. I really like examine my stool every day. And like I'm using the bathroom. He was saying you're supposed to use the bathroom 6 times a day. I don't know about that, but I'm probably using it about 4 times a day. I have one like first thing in the morning, which is pretty large. And then I'll have like about 2 to 4 subsequent stool releases. And I'm just noticing that you can see exactly what it is. Like you see it like, oh, then like I said, it doesn't even like flush. It just goes right down whole. It doesn't dissolve when when you flush the toilet and the water pressure hits it, it's supposed to already be processed in your system. Well, it doesn't process. And it goes down the toilet just like that. So this is why a lot of people have it causes a lot of different diseases too. A lot of different diseases are related to this one thing, and the powers that be know this. I'm telling you, these people are like sodomites. They like to torture people, right? The people who run the true, I don't even know what to call it. I don't mean to sound conspiratorial or anything, but like the true controllers of the country, the people who you don't see, not the people who they show you on TV, like the presidents. Those people aren't real. I made videos about them too. But like the real people who are behind the scenes, who control everything. They own everything. They own the hospitals. They own the pharmaceutical companies, the food manufacturing companies, the farms, everything. They own mostly everything. And they don't care about you. Only thing they care about is money. You're just a subject to them. You're just a pawn in a big game of chess. They don't care about you. All they care about is money. And if you get sick, it's beneficial for them. They're going to make money from that. Right? And, you know, it's easy to control sick people. It's easier to control sick people, right? Somebody always got to come to you. Oh, my stomach hurts. Oh, give me something for my stomach. You know, I'll tell you, you have perpetual issues with your gut, your stomach, your digestive system. I was watching some video the other day where it's talking about like a lot of your issues whenever you get sick is related to your gut, and it probably is. Probably is because you don't have good digestion, right? It affects your immune system. It probably affects your hormones. So that's why you see a lot of people transitioning from male to female or female to male because their hormones are screwed up because of this, right? When I was like 140 pounds overweight, I started growing breasts, right? I wasn't trying to convert to a woman or anything like that, but it was just like you just start seeing it, and that was actually probably due to me eating like foods like chicken and things like that are injected with growth hormones, like from those like mutant cows. Like you probably don't even see them. Like they don't even show you the real cows that they slaughter and the chickens and stuff, but they're probably like giant mutants. Like you'll watch a documentary. They show you how they inhumanely raise chickens in like those factory farms, and they're regular sized chickens, but some of the real farms they probably have mutant chickens, and they would never show you those. And mutant cows that are like probably 3, 4, or 5 times the size of a regular cow. Those are the ones that they're just basically, they probably never see the outside. They're just sitting there eating all day, eating some soy, some type of grain meal mixed with soy, and they're getting huge, and they're injecting it with growth hormones, and they're taking their milk and they're feeding that to you, and they're putting it all into the foods. So just know what you're eating. If you care about your health, this video is for you. If you don't, then just keep doing what you normally do. But if you feel miserable, I told you this in this movie, this is the end. He's making a joke, but this is true. If you feel miserable, it's probably related to gluten. It's not the only thing, but this is like one of the root causes of most of your digestive problems is because of gluten. So you could be I did a calculation about this, and I was like, if I ate a pizza and I make my own homemade pizza, I use about 2 cups of flour. If you use regular like either pastry flour or white whole grain flour, I did a calculation that if I made a pizza twice a week for a year, and I wasn't really making like good bowel movements, and I wasn't really passing the gluten out of my system, that I would gain like 50 pounds within 1 year. So imagine if you did that over a span of 4 years, you could gain 200 pounds. And this is just eating pizza twice a week with no other gluten, right? Because it's about 10%. Like the flour contains about 10% gluten. Well, it differs depending on what type of flour you use. Like if you use pastry flour, all-purpose, whole grain, white whole grain, they have a lot of different type of flour, so it depends on what you use. But the ones that I was using to make my pizza before I stopped eating gluten, if I did that twice a week for a year, I would have 50 pounds of gluten sitting in my system, and you would feel miserable. You'd be carrying around 50, and that's just gluten. That's just from a pizza. So imagine if you just eat, if you follow the 3 meals a day, you at least probably 2 of those meals you probably eat gluten. So you eat a burger, it's gluten. You're gonna get gluten from the bun, or you eat like some chicken strips or something, gluten. You eat some pancakes, gluten. You might go to like Burger King in the morning and get like a sausage sandwich. You get more gluten, and they probably even put gluten in the sausage too as a binder. Yeah, so Yeah, I'm seeing, I'm really seeing this, and I hope this helps somebody to tell you this. I mean, you don't really have to believe me. You should really do your own research. I like to say that in videos. But if you care about your health, I know a lot of stuff is going on with like COVID-19, but I'm not really concerned with COVID-19. I just been kind of on this health kick for a while, and it's like you hit so many obstacles. It's like you think you know everything, and then you hit another obstacle like me. Like I removed soy and other things from my diet, and then now I run into this. So I'm feeling a lot better. I mean, I'm still having some discomfort because it's going to be even worse trying to, it's going to be, I mean, I'm going to say it's worse, but it's still bad even when you're removing it because you having all of these hard pieces come down your rectum undigested. So you just feel the vibration from it. And it's like you're constantly feeling discomfort all day. And I'm probably going to feel that until I completely remove it from my system. So there's some interesting free information. Again, I'm not making any money off of this. Again, you should do your own research. But I started eating that acorn flour, and so far it seems pretty good. I don't think I haven't detected any digestive issues with it, but I haven't really fully cleaned out my system from this other gluten yet. Like I said, it's been about 3 months since the last time I consumed regular wheat, and I did the acorn. I made a couple pizzas using the acorn, and so far I felt pretty good from when I ate it. So, and I've been just trying to, I've been trying to release this stuff from my system, and it's really like challenging. Like I said, I start off every day with like 12 glasses of water, like first thing in the morning. So that's like, when I say glasses, I mean 16-ounce glasses of water, 12 times 16 ounces. So that's what I start off with. And I start off with like some digestive tea, a smoothie, and some orange juice. And I get a lot of liquids. And yeah, I'm kind of urinating a lot, but it really seems to help with flushing the stuff out of your system. Like I said, you take like 3-4 times a day. I'm going to pass the stool, right? And you can see most of it, especially after the first one, which is a large one. The subsequent ones, you can see, and you know exactly what it is when it comes out the way that it looks. It just looks like either it's like a long piece, and when you flush the toilet, it does not dissolve by the water pressure. It just goes straight down, and you know exactly what it is. It's just gluten coming out of your system, right? It has caused me problems sleeping. You cannot get comfortable. It's like you can't, like, I don't know, for some reason, like you just can't relax with it in your system. Right. And like I said, the people that know this, there's nothing new under the sun. This is an ancient technique. And if your enemy is controlling your food supply, this is kind of what you get. If it was somebody who cared about you, this wouldn't be happening. Right. In the Bible, it talks about, in Deuteronomy and Leviticus, it talks about dietary laws, because they were trying to create a system of harmony. And this includes even like the bondservant wouldn't be able to eat pork. They wouldn't say you can't eat pork and this, and we don't eat it, but you can eat it. Even a bondservant wouldn't eat. They had to eat the same foods as us, right? Because they wanted everybody to be in harmony together, even a poor person, right? So that's why they had those laws, because they cared about you. It's not that like, oh, God has said, oh, we just don't want you to eat pork just because we're gonna pick a meat that we don't want you to eat. It's a reason behind that, and then science even proves this too. You can go look it up too. That said pork is bad for you, especially this cheap pork that they make here. I don't know about like if it might be a little different if you go hunt a wild boar out in the wilderness. That's going to be way different from consuming some pork that they make here. And again, if the chickens and the cows are mutants, I can guarantee you that the pigs are probably mutants too. And they're pumped up on human growth hormones and everything, and they're probably getting sick, and they're probably giving them antibiotics and everything to avoid them from getting sick, right? You don't have to believe me. Just look it up. Go look it up online. Start paying attention. Start caring about your health, right? So I hope this gluten is out of my system soon. I don't know. It's just like you said, it's like a challenge every day. You can see it coming out, but it seemed like it's like, man, is this ever going to end? Well, I don't know. I don't really know how long I was doing it. All right, sorry about that timer. But yeah, so I hope this helps anybody. You might want to go check out my previous video and my other subsequent videos regarding soy. If this is, I'm not like a nutritional expert, but I do care about my health, and I'm a pretty intelligent person, and I usually I won't make anything unless I wholeheartedly believe that it's true. So, and I'm experiencing this, I'm a witness to this gluten stuff, right? And people won't even tell you. Some people will know this and they won't even tell you. Like, it's like a secret. Like, everything, like a lot of things here are done in secret, like done in darkness, right? And some of the people know this too. It's not even just the powers that be. It could be somebody in your family or a friend, and they see you struggling, and they might even know this, but they're not going to tell you. They be like, no, I'm not going to tell you, right? They're not going to tell you. They know exactly what the problem is. So if you like to eat donuts, that's gluten. You like to eat bagels, gluten, unless you make a bagel yourself, probably. Most breads, unless it's gluten free. Even some of the gluten free products are bad because they're filled with like all these like 1,000 ingredients. So they're not really necessarily healthy, right? Just because it says gluten free, that doesn't make it healthy, even though it doesn't have gluten in it. It still might contain all these things like guar gum and all these different things that say it has gum at the end. Like, was it guar gum? And it's another gum. I can't think of the name of it right now, but just look at the label. You'll see it. It'll end in some type of gum, and you go look it up, and that'll even cause you some type of digestive problems. You'll see a lot of that in gluten-free products. So, yeah, it's an uphill battle when you're trying to get your health together in this place, right? Like I said, this place is run by some evil, wicked people, and it's under the control of a corporation, and a corporation is all about money. They don't care about the people. We're just their subjects. They don't care about us. It's not like it was when you were in your individual kingdom, wherever you come from, right? A lot of the kingdoms have fallen, and everybody is just sent here. Like, I always call America like it's like Egypt. It probably is on the land of Egypt, but that's kind of how they treat everybody. Like, they like to oppress you. They oppress you in many different ways, including with food, right? People talk about like back in slavery times where, they'll have hear stories be talking about like, oh, where master be eating the good food and then they'll give you the scraps. Well, this is kind of what they're doing, right? And you don't really have to eat it though. Like, a lot of people are just lazy, or you just become like, maybe you don't have time, but like, I was just thinking like, man, I spend a lot of money. Like, I shop on a site called North Star Bison, and I spend I don't spend that much money. Like, maybe every 2 months, I might spend like maybe a couple hundred, like $250 on like meat and cheese, which would include like, I usually eat bison that's soy free, chicken that's soy free, and I might eat like some wild salmon or something. Those are pretty much all the meats that I consume. And then I eat like cheese, like raw cheese that comes from like a grass-fed cow. Like, I don't eat a cow that, I don't eat any type of like commercially produced cheese. I buy cheese directly from a farm called North Star Bison. And if you go look at their site, they are expensive, but again, you get what you pay for. But I was just thinking that like, if I wasn't lazy, I'm not saying that I'm lazy, but like, if I knew what I knew today, I probably would have just got into like hunting, and you could just go like do a hunting season and go out and buy like a crossbow or something, or a bow and arrow, and just go hunt a deer. And you go catch 3 or 4 deers, you might have enough meat for the whole year. And you saving yourself a lot of money. You could be saving yourself thousands of dollars by doing something that's virtually free, with the exception that you have to go buy a hunting license, which you shouldn't have to buy, right? You should be able to just naturally go out and forage somewhere. This is like a natural right. And they try to even oppress you with that, talking about you got to get a fishing license or a hunting license. This is just more oppression that this place has, right? So I don't want to rant on for too long about this. I said, check out my previous videos if you're really interested in this. My last video right before this one was about gluten, and I made some other videos. If you look through my list, the title is always including soy. I made about 3 different videos regarding that. So, yeah, so it's really interesting. And, if you're having problems, this is probably the root cause of your problem. It'll even cause subsequent problems too, right? So if you get this gluten backed up in your system, you eat something that doesn't contain gluten, and it won't even digest properly. It won't be able to go through your colon properly, right? So I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's kind of crazy when you start learning the stuff that they do to this food here. You just start saying like you just like shake your head and say this couldn't be real. Like it's almost like literally like you live in hell or something. And hell is controlled by the devil. And you got a bunch of demons walking around you, the children of the devil. And they all around you too. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and end this here. I may make some subsequent videos, maybe once I get cleaned out completely of this. I think I'm almost there though. Like I said, it's been 3 months since I stopped eating gluten. And like I said, I increased my water intake. I just get a lot of fluids in you, get some digestive tea. And I do drink like a smoothie that has like a lot of bananas, like 900 grams of banana meat. And or I'm sorry, banana pieces. I don't think they call it meat, but it's just like the inside part of the banana. I weigh it out. It's like 900 grams. And I use some cacao powder, some peanut powder, and like some almond milk, like some homemade almond milk. And I don't know, that seems to do the job because I don't know, it really seems to like help get this stuff out of me. So, and like I said, I drink 12, 16-ounce glasses of water, like starting off the day. And if I eat again, I might drink another 3 or 4. So I might do, they tell you that you need 8, but I sometimes drink like 16 glasses of water sometimes. I'm not saying that you need that many, but you certainly don't want to get dehydrated when you're trying to flush this stuff out of your system. So it's better to get enough water than not enough water. And you might be kind of running to the bathroom until you kind of like figure out what is your good like amount that you need. It's, you know, it depends on the person. I'm 6'4", so I might need more than a person that's like 5'1". So pretty big difference. So I hope this video helps somebody. I'm not getting paid for anything. I wish I should be getting sponsored by North Star Bison because I do mention them a lot in videos, but they're not paying me anything. But I think they're a really good site, and it's like you buy directly from the farm, and they ship it to you on dry ice through like UPS or FedEx. So I really like their products. I left them some reviews. So if you're trying to like step your game up and you know really care about your health, then you're gonna have to pay for it. But honestly, to be honest with you, I don't eat meat every day. I probably eat it maybe 3 times a week, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. And I don't eat any fast food. I don't eat out at any restaurants or anything. And to be honest with you, it probably would even itself out. Like you think you're spending so much money on this, but it's like it probably evens itself out because I don't eat any fast food. So it's like if you just do a budget, it's like how much am I spending on food? You're like, man, I can't afford that food at North Star Bison, but you probably can if you just stop eating out and you just start making your own meals. And maybe you don't eat meat every day. Meat is kind of a luxury. I can't tell you what to eat. You can eat whatever you want to eat, but this is just how I do it, and I eat pretty good. They make the joke about how like, you know, a lot of us used to be kings and everything and princes, and we did. A lot of us come from fallen kingdoms, and we're going to be restored one day. But you know, if you really want to be like a king or you say you're a royalty or something like that, you need to start eating like a royal person and stop eating like McDonald's. That's what like the poorest of the poor would eat. If a person was a bum on the street, you know, I'm not laughing at a homeless person or nothing, but if you was a person begging for $1 or $2 and some change on the street, as soon as you get like $3, you go buy something off the dollar menu at McDonald's. And you might be eating the same thing as a person who, imagine if a person made like 70, 80,000 a year and they go to McDonald's. So you're eating the same thing that a bum on the street eats, right? You should kind of be ashamed of yourself to do that, but that's what people do here, right? Can't tell you what to eat. It's a free country. You have a freedom to do whatever you want to do here, right? But again, if you say you're one of these people and you say, oh, I come from, I come from royal. I got royal blood running through my veins. You probably do. A lot of people probably do, but you're eating like a what do they call it? Like a serf. What do they call it? Different things. They got the royal person, and then they have a serf, which is like a pawn, which is like the lowest class person. So you're claiming to be royalty, but you're eating like a serf, right? Or a low class person. So that's just kind of food for thought. So I'll go ahead and end this video here. I hope it wasn't too long. Shalom.